All right. Well, hello and welcome to Friday's Flip the Script on Marketing Done Better with me, Heather Newman. I am in a new apartment. I moved amidst all of this fun stuff that's been going on, not so fun stuff that's been going on in our world. And so, yeah, I just literally moved in the middle of all this and started a couple of new giant projects. And so I have my HQ set up. And I flipped on the streaming service, and it was just sitting there making a circle, kind of like this. And so I was like, well, I guess this isn't happening today. But I think maybe one of the things that I'm learning right now is patience with all of this stuff, and you may be as well. I think the world of conferencing and video and all of that stuff. I know my sponge right now is so full. I need to squeeze it out, and I'm looking forward to doing that over the weekend. To be honest, yeah. So I think what's interesting is I'm a Microsoft MVP, as many of you know, and so my heart is with the Microsoft products, and I love Teams, and I'm using that a ton for my business work and clients and all of that. And Zoom is more of a consumer product, and so lots of people are using that for all kinds of things. And so I'm learning a ton about all of that right now, more so than ever. Working with a lot of people, helping them figure out how to flip an event from an in-person event to a virtual event. Everybody is trying to make that switch right now, and for the near future, like many people, you've probably seen Microsoft, for example, is going virtual with all of their events. That's been in the news, and so we're all kind of learning together about all of this stuff. And yeah, so it didn't work. And so it's one of those things where I'm kind of, anytime something like that happens for me, my geek comes out and I'm like, I gotta troubleshoot this and figure it out. So I will let you know what I figured out and why. I'm plugged in to my modem, I guess, my router, not modem, good Lord, dating me, my router, directly with my Ethernet cable. And so one would think it would be snappy fast. And I checked the fast, checked, how fast we're going, and it seems all right, but there's something amiss and I don't know what it is. So anyway, so I hope that you're all having fun learning about all this stuff just like I am. I'm pretty tech savvy, but sometimes things don't work, and so you got to figure it out. I do have a virtual background. This is a background that we use with all of our Creative Maven website and all of that. And Annalise, who produces everything, does all the digital work for us at Creative Maven, does a beautiful job with that. I was like, will you create a Creative Maven one and a Mavens Do It Better one? So when I'm recording and stuff, we can have those in the background. So, because the one thing that happens is that if you put something up with words, it'll be backwards. And so you have to flip it. So it can be read by people that are looking at you. So we're working on that right now too. So there's kind of a lot of stuff in play and things that we're learning. And I've been on many calls this week, many back-to-back calls about all kinds of things, helping folks with different questions and helping clients and stuff. And so it's been really cool to this surge of technology, and it is unfortunate that something like COVID-19 has forced the hands of all of these things. But I think a lot of people are learning how to use technology in a different way, and that is a good thing. Something else that's, I read an article on Medium that I really loved. I posted it to my Facebook timeline, and it's a great article. I'm gonna look it up right now. And it's Prepare for the Ultimate Gaslighting. And it really struck me about Julio Vincent Gambuto wrote it, and he's a writer on Medium. And he's a really terrific writer. He's a writer-director in New York and here in LA, and I want to try and get him on my podcast. And he's got a film out called Team Marco at festivals worldwide. And I read that article and it really struck me about talking a little bit about getting back to normal, and that we're in and have been in this moment of great pause, right? There's many things in our lives that have been paused. The busyness of our lives, the noise in our lives, and also having to be in close quarters with family and pets and kids and all of that stuff. And so I think um, I have many friends that, are like, oh my God, I'm so bored. I can't figure out what I need to do. There's other friends that are busier than ever. And there's friends that are frontline workers. And thank you, first of all, to all of our healthcare workers, our grocery store and all the stores that are open, and people who are delivering everything, and our EMT and our civil servants and all of that. Thank you so much. I know you're going through a lot, and it's appreciated. And thank you from me personally for what you're doing. And but I do think there's something apropos about his article that is talking about the opening back up and the moving forward. And I read this article and I was like, man, I wish I'd written this article, because I feel like it's just so on point for what's going on right now. And so do give it a read. I'll put it up in the comments section, but it's called Prepare for the Ultimate Gaslighting. And again, it is by Julio Vincent Gambuto. And I do think, the first Flip the Script, maybe the second that we did, was, really about how you start your day and how you're taking care of yourself. And I think more than ever, that's really important. I, for one, got up this morning, had meetings, was running around, and I was like, okay, I need a cup of coffee, because I like that. I want to take a moment to write in my gratitude journal, and which I was like, I'd forgotten about it, to be honest. And I was like, where is it? And I had to go dig through boxes, because I have just moved, trying to figure out where I put it. And even finding pants this morning was a little bit fun. And then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, you don't have to have pants. There's a skirt hanging in the closet. You actually put those in there. So, it's just one of those things where right now days are bleeding into each other. And I think it is a moment of pause. And I believe it's about what we do with that pause coming out of this, how the economy will open back up, our lives will open back up, and the changes that are being foisted on us because of dealing with a pandemic. And I do think that, as a marketer, like some people give marketers a bad name, and rightly so. The job of a marketer is about perception and about selling and helping sell whatever products and services that you're hired to work on. And I think that the thing is for me, I don't want to forget all the things that have happened, and have the normal be the same. I think that I don't like the word normal anyway, really. And so the new normal that people keep talking about, I think it's important for us to, in this great pause, take a moment of pause for our own lives and think about, what is it that we went without, or what is it that we absolutely needed, and what was important to us during this time, and how did we spend this time. And the other thing is this whole, like, I took 4 yoga classes and I've done this and I've done that, there is no scorecard for your productivity during a pandemic. At least I don't think there is. And so for me, it's about, asking the question, not what's my scorecard, but just how did I spend my time? How did this make me feel? What was the roller coaster of emotions that I went through? And how do I want to take all of that information and apply it to the future? And that, some people don't have choices about that. There's people that have lost their jobs, lost their lives. There's so much about this that is a tragedy, and should be marked as that. But I also think that, whenever a tragedy happens, and, we've all lived through different ones personally, death, divorce, depression, all like the D's, in our lives, the bad ones. There's some good D's too. But, thinking about the fires that have happened in places, and earthquakes and natural disasters that we go through, and that we may or may not be involved with. I had many friends and family that were part of everything that happened in Sonoma County. And, it's hard when you're also not there and living it. But the thing about this pandemic is that we're all living it. Every one of us, every person on the planet is living the same pandemic. And so whereas maybe we didn't always have a connective tissue to each other. We do now, and that's everybody and all of us. And so to me, it's thinking about how do we want to come out of this and what changes are going to happen to us that are positive and that we can be positive about. And I feel like, the marketing end of it, there will be all kinds of things that get us back to normal, and there will be campaigns and commercials and all of that stuff. And to me, it's not about returning to, it's about what we're going to. There's a great song my friend Julia Francis wrote. It's I'm trying to think of the right lyric. It's not what you're it's not what you're going through, it's what you're going to. I think I did that right. It's a beautiful song, and I do feel like, it's about that for each of us. And so I don't know, I wanted to talk about that for a minute because I think it's important, because we're probably going Mach 10 with our hair on fire right now, just trying to find toilet paper and feed our kids and keep them busy. And there's these programs that came out that were supposed to help small businesses, and they will help many, but as if you've seen the news on that, the SBA loans have changed how they're helping people, and there's unfortunately, money has supposedly run out for the moment. And so there's a lot of people who are counting on certain things that aren't happening. And so I think it's about how all of us as individuals help each other and how we take the time to do that. And I know there's so much of that going on because I see the beauty in so many people helping each other right now in so many ways through this, whether, it's a text or a phone call or going out and volunteering or giving what they have to organizations that have completely, lost everything. And so many people I know in the artistic community, small businesses, people who are independent contractors, all of that, it's just poof, it's then gone, So I think whatever we can do to take a moment, like literally take a moment, and sometimes it's hard to do that because when you take a moment, a lot of the times, that's when all the things flood in, right? All the feels, all the emotions, all the stuff. And that is not always comfortable. But I think for me, I don't want to be comfortably numb with this. I think there's an uncomfortability that I think maybe needs to be leaned into a little bit. And again, look at how we go into the future together and what kind of world we want to have, aside from all the differences we have. Again, the pandemic and COVID-19 and any other virus for that matter, it doesn't care who you are, where you grew up, what religion you are, what political party you are, any of those things. And so it is a grand equivocator, if you will. And so, I don't know, I was just thinking about that and thinking about how I want to come out of this, if you will. And yeah, and I just, I don't know. I know that as a person who wears a marketing hat a lot of time, I want to be part of the folks that don't pretend that things didn't happen or like make light of it. I want to honor what happened and what has been happening. And also by honoring it, that means making choices about how to carry things forward in a positive way and a reflective way. And how can we do better way in the future? Because we can. I think we can. I believe that to the bottom of my heart. So I'm going to get misty anyway. So anyway, since I couldn't figure out my technology, I thought I'd just talk to you for a minute, from me to you. And I just want to also say thank you to my Creative Maven team, to Ruth and Tracy and Annalise, who have been so great supporting me, and my Content Panda team too, with Simeon and Mike and Russ, who we work with. So, and friends and family who've been so great. I'm, here by myself and talking through screens just like we all are. And yeah, and sometimes it's really like, I work from home a lot, and then I get my juice from going out to these big events where I speak and all of that. And I think last weekend over Easter, it was one of those moments where I kind of felt alone for the first time, like truly, you know, I talked to family and friends and all of that, but I just had a moment where I was like, wow, this is the first sort of big holiday that's celebrated both, you know, on a I don't know, at all levels, you know, it's religion and just families getting together and all of that stuff, right? And Passover as well. And so, but it was that moment where it was like, wow, we're not gathering like we normally do. Our traditions aren't, we they broke a bit, you know, and I think I felt it. And I also felt kind of the world, you know, and everyone else go, huh, wow, okay, this is what this is like. And so I think it was lots of celebration and a lot of goodness, but I think there was also a collective kind of sigh and a like, oh wow, you know. So I talked to a lot of people and that was the case, and so maybe it was the case for you. But and one of the cool things, I did a podcast this last week with Andrew Horn, who runs a company called Tribute.co, and it's really great, and I really recommend that you all go do one. They have a COVID code, and it's a tribute for that you can do for anyone. And you know, so many things are canceled, and there's lots of, you know, people who have passed, and you're not being able to gather to do a life celebration and funerals and you know, gosh, and graduations and all that stuff that has been altered by what's going on right now. And Tribute.co, I really love it. I've started one myself for a friend, and I just think that take advantage of it and give somebody a tribute, because I think we all need some joy in our life right now, and telling people how we feel about them and what they mean to us is really important. So I recommend that. Go listen to the podcast. Andrew's great, and the story of him creating that company, and his wife Mickey actually did that for him prior to him having this app and company. And you know how difficult it is to put video together. It's not easy, and even with all the tools that are out there today, it takes forever to render and cut and edit and stuff like that. So anyway, super cool, and I highly recommend that. And the information for that I can put in some comments in this one as well. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, thanks for joining the group. Thanks for being a part of this. I'm hoping that we're being helpful. I wanted to start this prior to the pandemic happening anyway, and launch it with the website, and it just so happened that this all coincided. So anyway, hopefully the things I'm posting are helpful, and please feel free to ask questions and put things up. I see people are posting things, which is great. So yeah, so big love from me to you, and I hope that your businesses are doing well, and if you've got questions about response and how to do things and stuff, please ask. I'm happy to try and answer questions as much as I can. And also to all of you and your friends and family, I hope people are safe and staying healthy and all of that, and we're going to get through this together. So anyway, that is your Flip the Script Friday from me, and I will talk to you soon, I'm sure, some social way, and hopefully I'll get my tech stuff figured out for next week. So thanks so much, everybody. Big love. Bye.